Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees once again for our Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shavana Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, I will start with verse number 25 today. So,
Yes,
just,
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, it's a long part, but also maybe I think we hope we can complete it. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, verse number 25. Tushte cha tatra kimalabhyamanandadhadhe Kim tairguna vedigaraadiha ye swasiddhaha dharmadeyaha kimagunena cha kankshidena saram saram jusham charanayorupagayadamnaha तुष्टे च तत्र किमलभ्यमनन्दाद्ये किं तैर्गुणव्यधिगरादिह ये स्वसिद्धाः धर्मादयः किमगुणेन च काङ्क्षितेन सारं जुषां शरणयोरुभयगायदाम्नः. Hare Krishna. Translation purported by His Divine Grace, Abhajaranavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Nothing is unobtainable for devotees who have satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes, the original source of everything. The Lord is the reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities. For devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of material nature, what is the use of following the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of the modes of nature? We devotees always glorify the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore we need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. Translation once more. Nothing is unobtainable for devotees who have satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the cause of all causes, the original source of everything. The Lord is the reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities. For devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of material nature, what is the use of following the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of the modes of nature? We devotee always glorify the lotus feet of the Lord, and therefore we need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, kama, artha, and moksha. Purport. Shilpa teacher. In an advanced civilization, people are eager to be religious, to be economically well situated, to satisfy their senses to the fullest extent, and at last to attain liberation. However, these are not to be magnified as described as desirable Indeed, for a devotee, these are all very easily available. Billamangala Thakura said, Muktai Swayam Mugulidanjali Sebade Asman Dharmartha Kama Getyaha Samaya Pradiksha. Liberation always stands at the door of a devotee, ready to carry out his orders. Material advancement in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation simply wait to serve a devotee at the first opportunity. A devotee is already in a transcendental position. He does not need further qualifications to be liberated. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26, Saguna Samadeditan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpade. A devotee is transcendental to the actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature because he is situated on, on the Brahman platform. Prahlad Maharaja said, Agunena, agunena cha kangshidena. If one is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the lotus feet of the Lord, he does not need anything in terms of dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. In Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, in the beginning of the transcendental literature, it is said, dharma, dharmaha,
Dharma
projita,
projita kaitava atra.
dharma projita kaidava tatra. Tatra. Okay, thank you, Parikshit. Dharma, artha, kama, and moksha are kaidava, false and unnecessary. Nirmacharanam, persons who are completely transcendental to the moksha, transcendental to the material activities or separateness, who make no distinction between mine and yours, but who simply engage in the devotional service of the Lord are actually fit to accept Bhagavata Dharma. Dharman Bhagavadan Iha. Because they are nirmatsara, not jealous of anyone, they want to make others devotees, even their enemies. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya remarks, Kangshade moksha gam api sukham nakamshade kamshade
Nakangshato yata.
nakamshado yata. Devotees are not desirous of any material happiness, including the happiness derived from liberation. This is called Anyabhilasha Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anamrutam. Karmis desire material happiness and jnanis desire liberation, but a devotee does not desire anything. He is simply satisfied by rendering transcendental loving service at the lotus feet of the Lord and glorifying Him everywhere by preaching, which is His life and soul. Hare Krishna, very beautiful purport.
Hare Krishna. Yes, bro.
Thank
you, bro. So, my humble obeisances to all assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So, this is again we are continuing Prahlad Maharaj's instruction to his schoolmates in the school. Prahlad Maharaj is preaching. So, whenever Prahlad Maharaj is getting an opportunity, it is said that the Vaishnavas are called Para Dukki Dukki. Means they are actually very much compassionate on the other suffering. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying the schoolmates are actually in ignorance because they are born in the demonic family. They are not having any Krishna consciousness. So he wants to enlighten them with the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So he is preaching them during the playtime. So here this is one such advanced instruction. We can see this verse number 25 and 26. It is actually explaining about the Sharanagati. How the devotee is surrendering to the Lord and what is the result of his surrender. Krishna also says, the Bhagavad Gita, the last verse actually, that's called Sharanagati Shloka. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja Ham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishami Masucha. So that is the highest goal, to surrender to the Supreme Lord. Because our original nature is to serve the Lord. But if you go and explain to anybody, normally people are not willing to do service like that, because our mentality is like a rebellious nature. No, even to offer namaskar to the Lord, many people, they just think But ultimately, what is the transformation is that rebellious soul, after getting this knowledge, gradually the heart transforms into the surrendering nature. And once you surrender to the Supreme Lord, then the Lord takes care of everything for that devotee. Whatever, Krishna takes care of everything. So that is what explained here. After once a devotee is surrendering, what will be his benefit? So Prahlad Maharaj very beautifully is explaining this verse. Nothing is unobtainable. So for a devotee who was satisfied, the supreme personality of Godhead. So surrendering means also it is actually surrendering means it is also satisfying the Lord, because we are fulfilling the ultimate instruction of the Lord is to surrender to this lotus feet. Hmm. So for that kind of devotees, nothing is unobtainable. The Lord is a reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities. And for the devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the modes of material nature, what is the use of following the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation? Okay, that is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. These are called the purusharthas. The goal of human life is to follow religion, dharma, and economic development, artha, sense gratification is kama, and moksha is liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of modes of nature. Because why it is said automatically obtainable means, as per our karma phala, means whatever our result, as per our destiny or karma, we can say, whatever economic development we should obtain, whatever sense gratification and whatever is there, we will get automatically under the influence of the modes of nature. But devotees are not bothered about that. Devotees always want to glorify the lotus feet of the Lord. Same is reflected in Bhagavad Gita also, that Machita, Madgata, Prana, Bodhayantascha Parasparam, Katayantascha Mam Nityam, Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. Krishna says that devotees are actually relishing happiness by discussing amongst others, each other, by glorifying the lotus feet of the Lord. And therefore, they are already happy. We need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay. So one important point here is we are all seeking for happiness. Whatever we do, whether it is material or spiritual, we are seeking happiness, because it is said in Vedanta Sutra also, Ananda Maya Vyasat means the soul is always seeking for happiness. So whether we are dressing nicely or whether we want to take nice food, prasad, or whatever we are doing, we want to derive happiness. Even if you have hear a nice kirtan, what is the purpose? That we want to release it. We want to, that rasa. Rasa means that kind of mellow or happiness. And then, and the happiness, there are two kinds of happiness we can see. One is the material happiness, and second is the spiritual happiness. And Krishna says, those who are param drishtva nivartate, means Krishna is saying that these two happiness, one is lower happiness or material happiness. This dharma, artha, kama, moksha, this is coming under the lower kind of happiness. And people who are engrossed in this lower kind of happiness, they don't release the higher happiness. They don't get access to that. But who are actually surrendering to the Lord and performing devotional service, they are releasing param drishtva. They are releasing some kind of higher happiness. So those who are having that higher happiness, they are not actually bothered for lower kind of happiness. That's why you are seeing that devotees always glorifying the lotus feet of the Lord, need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, artha, kama. They are not interested, because they are experiencing something higher kind of happiness. So Prabhupada says one nice quote, what is the difference between materialist and spiritualist? One who seeks happiness externally is called a materialist. One who seeks happiness internally is called a spiritualist. That's all. We as a devotees, as a sadhaka, we are trying to derive happiness within ourselves, from the soul, from by connecting our soul to the Paramatma. So the difference between devotees, materialist and spiritualist is, the person who is actually seeking happiness externally is called as materialist. The
Okay.
person who is seeking happiness internally is actually spiritualist. So we can go to the purport. Prabhupada very beautifully writes here. Now we are in an advanced civilization. Of course, Prabhupada written this purport in 1967, 68, like that, when he was in America. So that time he's writing, that time it's an advanced civilization. Now we are almost 50 years past, actually. We can see that more than 50 years now. We can see that we are still more advanced in civilization. People are actually eager to be religious. people are actually eager to be religious. You can see all the festivals, people are trying to celebrate, whatever festivals are there. Today also we can see the Onam is also, whether people are spiritually advancing or not, we can see whatever festivals, people are actually eager to be religious. And not only that, they want to be economically well situated. Okay. How is a person respected in today's society? If he is economically well situated, then only they will respect the people. If he is economically weak, then nobody actually cares for, bothers for him. And by that, they want to satisfy their senses to the fullest extent. This is basically dharma, artha, kama. And finally, after a certain age, like 45, 50, 55, there is a limit called saturation limit. Saturation limit means they lose interest in everything. So in English, if you say, it is called as midlife crisis. Midlife crisis means people who are materially very active, after a certain stage, they lose interest in everything. Actually, it is also attributed to the hormonal changes in the body also. They slowly lose interest in all the, you can see, like, people when they are becoming old, they become slowly, if you give a good dish, they say, no, I'm not interested. Whatever they were releasing before, they lose interest. So at that time, what they say, somehow I ought to get liberated. In when they are young, they pray to God that they should live very happily, enjoy everything. But when they grow old, the same prayer changes. They go to God and they say, please take me from this world. Personally, I have seen many people saying that, no, I am praying to my God that let him finish my life. Let him take me as early as possible, because they are actually getting saturated. This is material life. Material life means like that. One time you become saturated. But spiritual life is not like that. Spiritual life is actually like Prabhupada at the age of 69, 70. He was not saturated. He was having a big vision to make an international society for Krishna consciousness. He was working tirelessly. He was only sleeping 2 hours per day. He was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, guiding the devotees all over the world. And he was so active, and so much enthusiastic. Every time when he hears a book distribution score, he becomes more enthusiastic. He says, I become more young and young when I am hearing all this progress in Krishna consciousness or book distribution score. My age is reducing. So this is actually the spiritualist, they experience like that. But as I say, materialist, even though they are in the peak, gradually when they cross certain age, they become, that midlife crisis comes and they lose interest in everything. That is natural. So here, then they at last try to attain liberation. They don't want to live anymore in this material world and they want to get liberated. However, these are not to be magnified as desirable. But Prabhupada says these are not actually desirable, whether it's dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. Because for a devotee, these are already available at his disposal. It is easily available for the devotee. It is like free for him, automatically available. He did not endeavor for all these things. Because you see, sense gratification also, a devotee is relishing all kind of foods, once offered to the Lord. It is not that he is starving. He is actually relishing that. Prabhupada also gives an example, quotes from Bilwa Mangal Thakur say, Mukti Swayam Mukritanjali Sevate Asman Dharmartha Kama Gateha Samaya Pratikshaha. Liberation always stands at the door of a devotee, ready to carry out his orders. So this we can see that Dhruva Maharaj, when he was actually about to leave his body, the Yamaraj came and actually stood. And Yamaraj, on the head of Yamaraj, he stepped his foot and then he boarded that golden chariot. So like that, for devotee, liberation is always waiting at his door of a devotee. That means like in the servant mood. So liberation is already there. He need not specifically strive for liberation. See, like for us in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, they say Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. We want to get liberated from cycle of birth and death. But that is only initial inspiration. But when we become devotees of the Lord, automatically liberation will be there. No need to specifically try for liberation. That's what Prabhupada mentions here. Liberation is at the doorstep means a devotee need not specifically try for liberation. It is automatically at his doorstep. Because he is at the transcendental position. He does not need further qualifications to be liberated. Whereas if you see a jnani, his goal is not prema. his goal is only liberation. But a bhakta, his goal is not liberation. See, both are spiritualists. Whether a jnani or a bhakta, both are spiritual people and both are transcendental people. But the goal of a jnani is to get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. But the goal of a devotee is to serve the Lord wherever he is. He is not bothered about liberation. Means even if he is taking birth, he is not bothering. He wants to serve Mama Janmani Janmani Ishware Bhavatat Bhakti Haituki Tvai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't care where I am taking birth, but I just want only one benediction that birth after birth, I need to serve the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So see, the both are spiritual people, but their goal is different. And also Prabhupada quotes here, Bhagavad Gita 14.26, very famous sloga, Mam cha vicharine bhakti yogene sevate sa gunan savityetyan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So whoever taking this devotional service, what happens to him? He is coming automatically to the, he is transcending the three modes of material nature. Sa gunan samitityan means he is actually above the three modes of material nature. And he is established in the platform of Brahman. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So he is situated in the Brahman platform. So anybody takes in the devotional service automatically comes to this Brahman platform. And Prahlad Maharaj said, Agunena cha kankshitena. If one is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the lotus feet of the Lord, he does not need anything in the terms of dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. So this is very important. And also, by satisfying the Lord, what happens? Samsiddhir haritoshanam. If you satisfy the Lord, everything becomes automatically satisfied. Narada Muni gives an example, like if you feed the stomach, automatically the whole body is nourished. Or if you pour water to the root of the tree, automatically the entire tree is nourished. Like that, Krishna is the root of existence of this material world. So if you satisfy Krishna, everything will be automatically satisfied. That is one important point. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, in the beginning of the transcendental literature, like if you see any advertisement or any movie, there is a disclaimer in the beginning that whatever is in this section of the movie or advertisement, or even if you see mutual fund, there's a disclaimer. So like that, there is a disclaimer in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the disclaimer? It is said that Dharma projito kaitava atra. So in the beginning itself, the disclaimer is Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha are kaitava. This is the disclaimer in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are false and unnecessary. The four things which are celebrated by this material world as most important, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, it is irrelevant. It is false. It is in the beginning of Bhagavatam, it is said that for those goals, this Bhagavatam is not focusing on those. And Bhagavatam says these are false and unnecessary, not very important. And Nirmatsarana means persons who are completely transcendental, that means pure devotees of the Lord, and to the material activities of separate, who makes no distinction between mine and yours. The best example is actually Sukadeva Goswami himself. Like when he was walking in the forest, the girls were taking bath. But when his father Vyasadev was passing, they all covered the cloth. But when before that, his father, when Sukadeva Goswami is passing, they were not bothered because they understood here is a person who does not even distinguish between male and female because he was Nirmatsarana. Means he is not seeing people with a difference of attitude or difference of opinion or difference of mine and yours, but who simply engage in the devotional service of the Lord. So this is very, very high level of instruction. And normally we can only understand it theoretically, but there are people who are living in this standard, who are pure devotees of the Lord, like Srila Prabhupada. You can see Prabhupada did not give these teachings only to the Western people. Prabhupada also traveled to Russia. Prabhupada also traveled to Africa. So Prabhupada seen everybody as souls. And Prabhupada brought them to India, and for Indians also, everybody has given. So the people who are established in this higher level of devotional service, they don't give distinction. Actually, they don't have any enemies also. Ajata Satru. They do not have any enemies. For that people only, they are fit to accept Bhagavata Dharma. Dharman Bhagavatan Iha. So this is the highest standard of Srimad Bhagavatam. See, if persons are actually living the teachings of Bhagavatam, then you can see how this world will be there. This world will become the best place to live. Because they are Nirmatsaranam, means not jealous of anyone. So one of the biggest, what is that, negative quality in this material world is actually jealousy. People are jealous of each and everyone. And what happens if I am there, somebody along with me, yeah, he is going better, then we become jealous. Like somebody gets a lottery ticket, we are not bothering, okay, because we don't know that person. But if our neighbor is getting lottery ticket, big price, we feel jealous. How come this person was with me? He was like me. Now he's becoming a very big person. So this jealousy is there. Hmm. Our Jagasachi Prabhu also used to say this example. Like he used to say that even same brothers, if they are opening shop, textile shop, if one shop is having good business, the other brother automatically become jealous.
Yeah.
Even within the family, we can say brothers or sisters. As long as they are below us, we are not jealous. But if somebody goes above us, then we become we become jealous. So that is the nature of this world. This jealousiness is like a cancer. It will affect actually everyone in this world. So we have to be very cautious, not to become jealous. We should be content with whatever Krishna is giving. Like whatever Krishna blessed with us, we should be happy with that. And whatever the other person get, it is Krishna's blessing, or it is, we can say, it is own his karma. Whatever he deserves, he is getting that. But Nirmatsarana means the devotees actually they are not jealous of anyone. Why they are not jealous? Because they are not bothered about dharma, artha, or kama. See, dharma, artha, kama only material standard. If they are not bothered about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, then why they should be jealous of anyone? They are not, naturally they will not be jealous. They want to make others devotees. So, as Prahlad Maharaj is trying to make the other schoolmates devotees, that's the mood of a devotee is to make others. He want to share this message. Hmm. Enthusiastic. They are enthusiastic to give this message to others, even if they are their enemies. Even if they are their enemies, like we can see even Jesus Christ. Also, one example, when he was put in the cross, they were his enemies. They were trying to kill him, but he prayed to the Lord that, please, Lord, forgive them. Like that, that is ideal way how a devotee will have his mindset. In Christianity also, there is a prayer. They always, I don't know how many of the Christians follow, but it is their standard that they will pray for their enemies. If today somebody harshly treated them, they will pray for them that they should get God's blessing. Like that, there is a standard in their prayers to pray for others. So there is a high standard. But today's world, I don't know how many people are following, but that's one good thing that they will pray for their enemies also. So that is the highest, one of the standard. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya, again Prabhupada gives another reference here. Madhvacharya remarks, Kankshate mokshagam api sukam na kangshato yata. Devotees are not desirous of any material happiness. So devotees actually, they are not actually seeking any material happiness. See, but actually, even though they are not seeking whatever material happiness comes on the accord of their destiny, it's okay, they are accepting, but they are not seeking for that, not specifically endeavoring for that, including the happiness derived from liberation. This is called as Anya Bilashata Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. Means not having any material mixture. So yesterday, Braj Prakash Prabhu also was saying that when Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj first, His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj first met him in Kanyadesh, he asked me, what is your name? He said, Ved Prakash Mishra. So he said, okay, your name is Ved Prakash Mishra, but in Bhakti, there should be no Mishra. Means no, there should be no mixture of any, that's called Anya Bilashida Shunyam, not having any other desires. Not Mishra means no mixture of, in our Bhakti, what should be our goal? Our goal should not be anything material. What happens if our goal is material? If that will not happen, then you will not feel happy in Bhakti, because we are having wrong motivation or wrong goal. By performing Bhakti, I will get this. So that wrong motivation or wrong goal eventually will make us lack of motivation in Bhakti. So our goal only should be for Krishna Prema, to develop the love for the Lord. That should be the goal of Bhakti, not by doing this Bhakti, I will get promotion, or I will get better economic development, or by doing this Bhakti, all my health issues will be solved. If you are having that, is actually, we are having some motive behind our Bhakti. So we should not have. So gradually we should try to purify our Bhakti also, to that only we are doing this to please Krishna. That is called pure devotion. That's called Anya Abhilasha Siddham. Jnana Karmadi Anavarta means our bhakti should not be covered by the tinge of jnana or karma. And any other desire should be shunya, means zero. That's anya abhilasha shunya. So karma is basically in this world, they desire material happiness. That is the dharma, artha, kama. And jnana is desire liberation, mukti. But a devotee does not desire anything. He is simply satisfied by rendering transcendental loving service at the lotus feet of the Lord. So the devotee is only happy by just doing some service to the Lord, and glorifying Him everywhere by preaching, which is his life and soul. So the life and soul for a devotee is actually preaching or glorifying the Supreme Lord. Like you can see His Grace Radhesham Prabhu and all. Like he's always very happy in preaching, spreading this message, very active, very dynamic, and he's relishing that happiness and given his whole life, like His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. You can see that at least the younger generation, like they are like studied very high materially in MIT, IIT, but they are very happy. Simply they are satisfied by rendering transcendental loving service. So this is the secret. Even if you are not able to understand the philosophy of Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, just only we have to be eager to do some service for the Lord and just share this message to whomever possible. In that way, we can easily please the Lord. Because some people, like one time in Canada, actually, there was one Prabhupada disciple. Prabhupada, like, what do you like most in the Krishna consciousness? Whether it is philosophy or prasadam, like that. So the Prabhupada disciple said, Prabhupada, that, I sometimes I don't understand the philosophy properly. Sometimes it's not like, I am just happy by serving. No, just by serving the Lord, I just feel happy. This is my happiness. So like that, there are devotees who just experience happiness only by serving the Lord. Whatever service they can do, that is and that service should not be motivated by any material desires, just to serve the Lord for his happiness. And that is the highest stage in the bhakti. So with this, Prahlad Maharaj is actually explaining this highest surrendering unto the Lord. And what will be the result is dharma, artha, kama, moksha and all is waiting at the doorstep. For those kind of devotees, liberation is at the doorstep, and they are actually not anymore interested in dharma, artha, kama. So like that, Prahlad Maharaj is explaining this to the devotees. Hare
Cool
Krishna.
message.
So devotees want to
Thank
share any their understanding, realization, comments.
you,
Please, you can
Guruji.
feel. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji. Anybody want to share anything?
So even though it may look very high standard, this is the standard of Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
So they say always aim at the star, at least then only you can reach up to the sky. So if you have this standard, only we can develop. If Bhagavatam will compromise, okay, you can little bit desire here and there, then you will go a little more down. So that's why Bhagavatam gives the highest standard or highest level of achievement. So if we aspire for that, then only we can progress towards it. So Bhagavatam does not compromise on anything less than this. Only to satisfy the Supreme Lord by devotional service without any mix of material desires.
Yes,
So that's why it is said.
Mm.
So we should take that as an inspiration, even though we may not be in this level. Immediately, we should not think it is not possible. It is not like if it is not possible for us, it is not possible for anybody. There are people who are having this level, and we can also gradually progress. Whatever our level, from our level, we can slowly
Yeah.
progress by chanting, by association. Slowly, our mind, see, the whole thing is all concerned with the mind. Prabhupada said a devotee is not having four hands or four legs. The difference is actually a devotee means mind is actually the devotee, not the person. The mind, if it is manmana bhava, that's why Krishna is saying manmana bhava means always think of me means mind. Mind is actually the devotee. So
Yeah.
whatever is we are speaking, this all instruction we are giving to our mind and our strengthening our intelligence by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So once intelligence is strengthened and our mind becomes naturally very favorable for rendering the devotional service. And Prabhupada says initially we may not get so much interest in Krishna consciousness. This is Prabhupada's own words. But by training, by constantly hearing Shravanam, then Kirtanam, then slowly, our mind becomes more interested in all those things, to do service for the Lord and actually trying to eliminate all these material desires. So this is a gradual process, and when we are practicing, eventually we can get more and more purified. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Shikmar Prabhu, I think today we'll wind up here.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Comments?
Prabhuji.
Because we have other
Sorry,
programs.
sorry, Prabhuji, to disturb you for
No issues.
going for the hall program.
I am also learning.
You
And I am
requested
also getting
Prabhuji, and Prabhuji agreed without any these things, and so we are lucky to get today's class for Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhu. For if you start from there, now only you will reach on the place.
Yes,
the
yes,
right.
Prabhu.
So we will end up, Prabhuji. So thank you very much. Any devotee, anybody want to think? Nobody has anything to. So thank the Prabhuji. Anything, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Nothing, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I'm hearing.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji, we will chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhuji, as well as all the devotees who are present today for everybody's spiritual progress. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.